If you've watched our full video reviews of the Samsung Galaxy Note 2, but you want all that review information packed down into a little package, you're going to like this. This is a snapshot review of the Samsung Galaxy Note 2, a review where we take all that info and put it into a little video that's about 4 to 7 minutes in length, where you can get exactly what you need out of the video. It's a snapshot review. Let's kick it off and see if this is the ultimate Android device. Time for a snapshot review of the Samsung Galaxy Note 2, which is available on 5 different carriers in the US. If you like this review style, thumbs it up on YouTube or on the site. If you don't like it, thumbs it down. This is not replacing typical reviews, but this is giving you a snapshot, a quick review process of some of your favorite devices on the market. Is the new model better than the last? That is a great question. The Samsung Galaxy Note 2 is a successor to the Galaxy Note, which launched on AT&T and much later T-Mobile in the US. The Galaxy Note 2 brings the Galaxy S3 design cues to the Note line, and it expands the availability to all those 5 carriers that I just mentioned, an instant win from an overall awareness standpoint. But despite that carrier agnostic approach, a phone won't sell without a good formula of marketing, retail awareness, consumer interest, and just a combination of great stuff like that. And that is what makes the Note 2 substantially better than the original device. Yeah, while the Note 2 is the same product line as the original Note, it's best to think of this device as an entirely new iteration. Think of it as a revolutionary device as opposed to an evolutionary update. It brought the notion of hybrid smartphone in, but Note 2 is really better in every way possible, and among the improvements, the specs list. You've got a 1.6 gigahertz quad-core Exynos CPU here, 2 gigabytes of RAM, and a 5.5-inch Super AMOLED HD display. So this thing is fast, it's zippy all around, no lag whatsoever, and it gives it a leg ahead of some of its competitors. Now, also the size and feel in the hand, and I know you're probably thinking, that's a big device, Aaron, and it is. The display, when you think about it, is larger than the original Note, but this phone is longer and narrower, which makes it easier to hold in the hand. I can actually wrap my fingers around this device as opposed to the original Note. So yes, while it's a big device, it's longer and narrower, easier to hold in the hand, not as fat as the original Galaxy Note. The S Pen is also improved and far more integrated into the software, making for a much more pleasant experience. You've got things like Page Buddy, when I remove the S Pen, that you can see right here, and it brings up little helpers where you can do a note, you can listen to music depending on what you're doing. Really functional from a software standpoint. And then it brings, speaking of, some great software perks to the table, things like S-Beam camera features and a myriad of personalization options, really allows you to customize the device to your own. So you've got an NFC, you've got S-Beam, like I said, you've got all this stuff out of the box as software goodies. If you want to use it, great. If you don't want to use it, you don't have to. The size of this phone places Galaxy Note 2 really into a category of its own, often called phablet or tablet phone, or whatever hybrid combination of words you want to put together to symbolize a tablet and a phone. That's where it is, and make no doubt about it, it's a big device. I mean, for comparison purposes, the Apple iPhone 5 fits entirely into the display of this phone. So, I mean, that's, it's a huge phone. And the overall look and feel resembles the Galaxy S3, though, and it offers a similar level of plastic. So you've got kind of a similar look and feel across the Galaxy brand of devices. As far as I'm concerned, Samsung's TouchWiz Nature UX is the best implementation of a user interface on Android. I mean, it's fast, it's fluid, it works well, and say what you will about the overall design, the way the colors look, you may love it, you may hate it, but honestly, it's fast, it's fluid, it works incredibly well with Android 4.1 Jelly Bean. You've got little to no lag, it's far less jumpy and flashy than HTC's Sense user interface, and the few times it does exhibit some flash and some pizzazz, if you will, the animations are pretty smooth and rarely result in a wait. They've also done an exceptional job of including software goodies, like I said before, things like S-Beam, and little software features like the ability to personalize your device. We can go into display, Page Buddy, like I said, Smart Stay and Smart Rotation, displaying battery percentage, and more. Little things that I think are going to be really beneficial to mainstream consumers. In many ways, this is the HTC Evo 4G of late 2012 through early 2013. It's a big device, but it's got a ton of things. It's an Android pioneer that leads in a lot of different places. Battery life's absolutely fantastic thanks to a 3,100 milliamp hour pack. The S Pen functionality is great for signing contracts and editing documents, so immediately portraying to the business user here, and the quad-core Exynos processor combined with 2 gigabytes of RAM makes for a really fast experience all around. So whether you want the latest and greatest Android device, you're looking for that content creation with the S Pen, perhaps you need battery life because you're a road warrior, this thing's going to appeal to multiple categories, and that is one of the biggest areas where the Note 2 is going to be successful. There's little I would change about the Galaxy Note 2. Most of my issues come from the software side outside of the device itself. Samsung's Keys application, which is what you'll use if you need to back up your smartphone to your computer, is in desperate need of an overhaul. And I'd also like to see Samsung tighten up some of the ecosystem stuff. Media Hub, Music Hub, and then of course Chat On. They need to tighten it up where it's a better ecosystem, and really, people want to use that as opposed to Google Play or some of the other third-party alternatives on the market. The real verdict is this. Note 2 is one of the largest smartphones on the market right now, and that's going to be a deal breaker for some people. It's simply too big. Maybe it's hard to fit in the pocket or the purse, but looking past the size, there's a ton to like on this smartphone, and I have a feeling that consumers are going to be drawn to the individual features. Like I said, battery life, in which it leads, speed, network connectivity, 4G LTE across the board on most of the devices in the States, availability on multiple carriers, and content creation thanks to the S Pen, where you can draw on the screen. You can really make this device your own, take screenshots easily, and more. It's all about content creation, using it in business. It appeals to multiple demographics, and that's where I think a lot of people are going to look past the size and say, hey, it's a big device. But you know what? It's got a ton of features to make up for it, and I'm okay carrying it in my pocket. Keep it locked on PhoneDog.com for continuing coverage. If you like the Snapshot review process, let me know. PhoneDog_Aaron on Twitter, Facebook, Facebook.com/PhoneDog. Stay tuned for more coverage on the Note 2 and on a bunch of other devices as we go into the busy Q1 season in mobile. I'm Aaron from PhoneDog.com. We'll see you next time.